How's it going, guys? It's Cole from See Through Panel showing off my Daredevil by Bendis and Malieve custom bound omnibus. I'll get into the details of how it was made and why it was made and everything, but I'm not going to be spoiling anything in this video. It's just to show off probably the most unique book in my collection because it's one of one. Obviously, it's a stitched together omnibus, but I love it. And it's a little janky, but it's awesome. And so I'm not going to be spoiling anything, but I'll be just talking about this, flipping through it. If you haven't read this run, maybe I can convince you as to why I love it so much. But yeah, no spoilers. So let's get started. Here's the front with the dust jacket. It says the Murdoch Papers. I just love that image and that name, so I decided to title it that. I don't know if they ever used that on the actual omnibus, but I don't think they did. There's the spine, and there's the back. If we get rid of the dust jacket. So a couple cool things here. This was designed by me. I mean, I chose the images, but David Banks at Single Bound Studios back in 2017. See how that fits together? That's really cool to me. That's just the dust jacket, just a little thing. He helped me set it all up. He took my images that I sent him and made them into an actual, like cover and book and with the right resolution and everything. So he did all the real work. I just picked some pictures. But this is 2017. I was super into this Daredevil run. It's what really pulled me into comics for the first time in like a meaningful way. Like a way where I cared about creators. This and Mobius. This was before Mobius even though, so. And as you can see, this thing is gigantic. They printed the actual omnibus in 2 volumes, and I can see why they did that. You can even see this is 3 of the like complete collections for the Bendis run stitched together. So it is a little heavy, a little large, and there is some, gutter loss with the stitching down the middle. But overall, I was so happy how it came out. It cost more than it's a passion project, right? So you're not getting anything out of it. So I have the price of the 3 complete collections on top of the price of getting this all done, which was not super cheap. I mean, it wasn't insane, but it really just was something that I wanted to have on my shelf. And at that time, I was really into the idea of collecting omnibus, and I didn't have a way of getting the actual omnibus. The price at that point would have been more than just buying both the omnibus. Just would have been way more than just getting this done because I already own the trades. So I had this done. David Banks at Single Bound really helped me out. He basically was a middleman between me and the bindery. I just said, I want this to look like this. I want this kind of dust jacket, this kind of cover. And I picked all the images on this, but he picked this. And when he sent it to me, I was like, that's silly. Will that even look good in real life? But I thought it turned out great. And it's cute. It's just a fun little thing. It makes it more unique. But the Bendis and Malieve Daredevil run is the best Daredevil run. Okay, so I've read every modern Daredevil run. I haven't read Ann Nocenti's run. But I've read Frank Miller, Mark Waid, a lot of the Zdarsky run at this point, Lark and Brubaker, a lot of that stuff. Frank Miller's is obviously second place for me. Then it's this, and then it's Brubaker. And I just thought this was the perfect run to get into comics with because it was so dark and gritty, but also so compelling and not super edgy by any means. Really showed off Daredevil as a character and didn't, at least from my memory, I haven't gone and done a full reread in a couple of years now, but it doesn't really make you don't have to learn about the entire Marvel universe. This isn't an Avengers book. You can just drop into this, learn who Matt Murdock is as a character to his core. You get to know him he's so familiar by the end of this, and it made me fall in love with the character so much. That's why my dog's name is Murdoch. And I'm so glad that this is the run that got me, to really love comics. I couldn't find anyone that was like Malieve at that point. And then when I got to Brubaker and Lark, look at the eye on this thing. This thing is trying its best. My God. When I got to Brubaker and Lark, I was just so happy because Lark really fit the idea of what I thought a Daredevil comic should look like. And it turns out there's a lot of good ways to make a Daredevil comic. It's not just this gritty, rougher style, but in my eyes then, I thought it was the perfect run. Yeah, I'm just really happy to have this book. I haven't done a full reread just with this book in a long time, 3 or 4 years, but whenever oh, here's a great issue. You can get a lot of art styles out of this. Whenever I pick this book up and flip through it, I'm just happy that I own it. And honestly, I'm glad I did it. I'd rather have this, even with all its flaws, which is pretty much just got or lost in the size of the thing, than the 2 omnibus that Marvel printed, because those are just Marvel omnibus, you know, they're nothing special, and this is like, you know, super unique. So really, really excited to show this off finally. I think I've shown it in like my like shelf tour videos, but I've never shown the book in its own capacity here just by itself. I was enamored with this image and this image. They were my phone backgrounds when I first got into this, and so I just had to have that. And originally we had Daredevil written on the spine here, and I said I want it just white. I want just these 2 images and nothing else. And this thing cracks when you move it around. I mean, it is unwieldy. It's gonna fall apart eventually, but we'll you know, cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of my most unique book in my collection. If anyone's ever had anything custom bound, let me know. I know it's really big and like the diehard classic people, because obviously a lot of those books in the like 90s and 80s and before, they don't have omnibus, or they're just now being printed. And for a long time in the 2000s, if you wanted an omnibus of a book, this was the only way to do it, because it just wasn't the primary way of printing hardcovers. So it was a bigger thing. Now they'll print an omnibus of a run the day it ends. And so we're probably going to get everything in omnibus form forever until the end of time now. But I think this is such a cool niche part of the hobby that I don't see myself revisiting anytime soon, but I would love to have another run where I'm like, holy cow, I want to like design a book for this, put it together, have it on my shelf, because it's maybe not the only way to get the book, but it's the best way to present the book. And it's really cool. But also, on the other hand, I like that this is the only custom bound thing in my collection, because it's just like, it stands out. When you put it up on the shelf, it's got to be the thickest book I own. I'm looking at my shelves right now. I can't imagine anything being this big. I mean, it's 2 Marvel omnibus. Like, here's a the other con would be the form factor. So it's not that big, right? This is a trade paperback. It's trade paperback sized. So if that's a problem, I could see how that would be a problem with some people. For me, at that time, I didn't care. There's the size of it compared to a trade, though. I could definitely see it being an issue for like people that really love the oversized stuff. At that time, I wasn't even aware that existed, and there wasn't going to be a way for me to. I can't upscale it. I can't enlarge the images; it'll look bad. So, plus I just had the pages loose. It's not like I was printing my own book. But yeah, if you have a custom bound book, please tell me what it is, or a run that you think is worth doing this for, and we can also talk about this Daredevil run, because it is phenomenal. Without going deep on the run, this wasn't supposed to be a video about the run, but I'll do a video eventually, and this is one of the best of all time. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace.